everyone, I am Mike of Micah Test Play, and welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. Last time we defeated Area 6 of Mount Battle, and this time we're doing Area 7 with our actual team. Our team could use a little bit more experience. That was a really weird, it looked like Wes's hand was... anyway, they could use a little bit more experience, and, you know, I wanted to go a little bit faster. So, our shadows are not really up to Area 7. They would have a tough time, even if I abused Hyper Mode like I did for the end of last episode. So we're bringing in our actual team, who should be able to just trounce these fools. So, of course we immediately get a weird matchup. But, Mr. Ray and Blue are out there, and I am still in the same recording session. So, I can continue my story of last episode. So, you know, the story of Mike getting video game consoles continues. Now, I got to the GameCube being spoiled for me as my biggest Christmas present of the year by my friend whose store my mom had bought it from while he was at the counter. And he told me, when she got it, weeks before Christmas. So she did still manage to kind of make it a surprise. Fortunately, he was not a reliable truth teller, so you know, she was able to get away with a little bit of a good old-fashioned Christmas fibbing. So I got the GameCube in Christmas, and the console had released months before. We had played Super Monkey Ball on it. The one and only time in my life I've ever played Super Monkey Ball was before the Switch came out, or the GameCube came out. Just thought it was interesting. So that's how I did that. Nintendo DS also gotten at Christmas after that. And that's my big present. Yes, that is now 4 consoles or video game systems that were my big Christmas present. You know, it's a good Christmas present, you know, makes sense. And so, that's how I got that. And first game for Game Boy Color was Pokemon Blue. For Game Boy Advance was, I think, Ruby version, actually. And then, or no, maybe not. I might have gotten a different thing for Game Boy Advance, because I got that at Christmas. And Pokemon didn't come out yet. But I knew it was coming out. And then for the DS, pretty sure it was Diamond and Pearl. Not 100% confident on that one. But, pretty sure. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Rescue Team. Yep. Because I got Rescue Team Blue and Rescue Team Red. Or Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team at the same time. And so then it was the Wii. And if you weren't, you know, big enough to remember, when the Wii came out, it sold like nothing before. I'm sure, I think PlayStation 2 had a obscene launch too, but you couldn't get a Wii for years. Not just months. It was a really long time that you just could not get one. And we were, you know, Christmas came and there was none to be gotten. And so it was the next summer or something. I went through summer without it. And I was working by that point. Not for real, I had a, you know, I was in high school. I had a summer job. And so at a certain point, my dad and I started looking for one. My dad's not a gamer, but he was just fascinated by, he wanted to buy me my next system because he hadn't yet. And so he was like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this together. And so we made it like an adventure. And So we started going to like stores like when they opened to try to get a system, and we failed for like 3 weeks in a row. Like, we were there early, and they were like, you know, I remember distinctly once we went to a Best Buy that like we knew what day it was coming, we knew when it was open, because they were like saying in like ads and stuff, we will have this, we will have the Wii on this date, and we showed up at like pre-6 a.m. and there was a guy at the door, there was a line, a big line, and there was a guy at the door going, nope, sold out. And we're like, how? And he was like, we've been counting the line. There's like 30 more people than there are consoles. People are waiting for people to drop out of line. And I'm like, no one's gonna. He's like, nope, no one's gonna. So we struck out, but we said, no, today is the day. So we went to everywhere that sold games that day. And, like, all over the place. And we found it wasn't a GameStop. It was an EB Games that we were like talking to the guy, and he was like, oh, we don't have anything new. And we were like, all right, so is there a way to sign up? But of course, Serene Grace Dunsparce with the boost. Just keep earthquaking. Whatever. And so we're talking to this guy, and he's like, hang on, would you take one used? And we were like, used? Because we had not, no one was turning in the Wii. At that point, they were selling like, you know, you couldn't get one in stores. And so he goes, yeah, I was gonna actually like, he was gonna do something. It was like, I think it had a hinge missing. And he said I was gonna like fix it up and sell it to, he had like a buddy who still wanted it. I was gonna sell it to him, but like, I'm not sure when I'm gonna be able to actually get to fixing it up. And he said, so it's got some damage and it's used, but do you want it? And we were like, yes. And he was like, it has to be, it's sold at full price, because they were not, like, there weren't returns, but it was sold at full price. And we were like, yes, we're getting it today. We're getting it right now. So we did. I got a used Wii. It already had a couple of games like from the Nintendo Wii online shop. I'm trying to get everybody like evenly leveled. That's kind of the goal here. Our team's a little bit under where I'd like them to be by like a couple levels. So we're trying to get through this area and also, you know, get their levels up a bit. And so I got the Wii, and we were like thrilled. You know, our mission was complete. You know, we did it. But it had like 2 pre-launch games. It was like, I forget what they were. It's been a long, long time since I actually played my Wii. I have it, but it's just been a really long time since I played it. I think it was a Donkey Kong Country game, and something else that I don't think I ever even played. But I was like, whoa, I got this. And I got Pokemon Battle Revolution, because that was out already. And like, which was so disappointing, because I was expecting a game like Colosseum or XD, and it was just Stadium, but without the fun stuff. Anywho, and so I finally got the Wii, and we got like a bunch of games for it too, because my dad hadn't gotten me a console before, so he was really excited to, you know, get me a bunch of games for it. And I played the Wii like the whole day. You know, Wii Sports, once you put it on Wii Sports for the first time, it was an experience. Like, the Wii was just different. And so that was the first console, that was the first video game console since the Game Boy Color that I did not get on Christmas. But it was also just an it was more of an adventure than it was a video game purchase. It was, we're on a quest. And so after that, the 3DS was also a Christmas present. Like my big present of that year, whatever year I got that. But then for the Wii U, because yes, I have only in my life gotten Nintendo consoles. The Nintendo are the games I like. That's the consoles I buy. Tess had something else in the past. I don't remember which one. PlayStation or Xbox. She sold it before we moved in together. But like when the Wii U was coming out, by the time it came out, I was an adult. I was post-college. I was working, like for real. And so that was the Wii U. It hadn't been out too long. It was my first big purchase as an adult with my own adult money. I was still living at home because, life. And, it's expensive. Anyone who's an adult in this era certainly knows what I'm talking about. But it was like I went in, I had enough money for the Wii U and oh gosh, I don't remember which games. I honestly don't. I'm a Pearls, why not? And so I went to, I think it was a Target. I had the money. I knew how much money I had. I had like a couple $100 more than I was going to spend on the Wii U and the games that I was getting for it. It was Mario Brothers U. That was it. It was definitely Mario Brothers U. That was the primary game, and I got the Mario Kart like Wii U. It was pre-downloaded on it. Got the bundle, I guess. And so of course it's a flying type team, as we've got to pay out front. So right back to Mr. Ray. So I got to the Target, and I'm so excited to make my first adult purchase. And the debit card chip wasn't working properly. So the guy at the counter was just like, do you have enough money on this card? I was like, I do, I promise. And then finally I got the swipe to work, and he was like, oh yeah, you did. And I was like, I know, I wasn't lying. Please sir, may I have my game now? So that was like my first big adult, but big purchase with adult money. It's a thing that you remember. But then for the Switch, by the time the Switch came out, I was an adult. I was still making money. I was still at home though, and money was really tight. And heck, money's still tight now. But we're doing better. We Tess and I both work full time. We pay all our bills and everything. But money was really tight, and so I just didn't buy the Switch when it came out. I was just like, I'll wait until I can, making mature, responsible decisions, and so I was waiting, and at that point, I was telling my parents and stuff, I will make my console purchases from now on. You don't need to, don't spend the money on it for Christmas or anything. I'll do stuff like that on my own time. I don't have a ton of time for video games at the moment, at that point. So I was just like, whatever. And so for Christmas of 2017, my mom, having known how excited, because I would still talk about stuff, she knew I was really excited for Mario Odyssey to come out. And so she got it for me, not knowing that I didn't have the Switch. So it was like, it wasn't like, I was old enough that it wasn't like big presents versus little presents anymore. Like it was just, it was one of my, it was a Christmas present. But she was so excited about it because she knew that I didn't have it yet, and she was just like, here you go. And I was just like, this is great. I don't have the Switch. She was like, what? So I had Super Mario Odyssey sitting on a shelf for like a month without a way to play it. It was like taunting me. And then Tess and I had we started dating around Christmas of 2017, and I like about a month later. We were, we were spending as much time as we could together. A new relationship. We were spending as much time together as we could, and we, I had saved enough money. So she said one day, "You have Mario Odyssey?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Wait, you don't have a Switch?" Because she knew, and I was like, "Nope." And she was like, "What?" So I told her the story, and then she's like, "Well, you said you had saved enough." And I was like, "I do have enough now." So we went out and bought the Switch together. It was my Switch at the time, and we bought the Switch together and played Mario Odyssey together. That was like the first video game that we actually played as a couple. Like together, like we played the entire game, handing back and forth the controller. Like we did the whole thing as a unit, and that's why it was the first game of our channel. By the way, because when we decided to start our YouTube channel, we were engaged by that point, and we were just like, "What game should we do first? It's got to be Odyssey," and yeah, and that's what we did. And so. So, you know what? Yeah, just the same thing. So that was how we got the Switch, and then eventually, because the Switch was not that hard to get when it first came out, and then eventually, Tess and I actually did long distance for 2 years because she went and did her final 2 years of college. Like an hour away, and so we did. When she went off to college, she also loved video games and wanted to play the Switch while she was gone, and so she, like at college, she got herself a Switch, and she like called me and was like, "Hey, is it weird?" Like from the store, she called me and went, "Would it be weird if I bought a Switch?" And I was like, "No, it would be genius if you bought a Switch." And she's like, "Okay, good, I'm doing it then." So we have 2 Switches, and we moved in together like right when she finished college. Like, actually, technically, we moved in together a month before she finished college, because that's when our place was available. We moved in together, by the way, August of 2020. And if you remember August of 2020, no, not August, April. Sorry, April of 2020. So if you remember April of 2020, it was a time. And then we had 2 Switches, and we would, we like played them next to each other. I mean, not now because we have a baby and we tend to just play with Lily now. But like for the first several years that we lived together, we were just like, we were so smart that we each got a Switch, because now we can both play different things, and like one on the TV, one handheld. When Scarlet Violet came out, like we played it. We each took we have a TV in the living room and in the bedroom. We each took a TV and we're just like yelling back and forth at each other, "Have you seen this yet?" And it's very satisfying. But yeah, so those are, and so now the Switch 2 came out. What, June? Is that June? It's now almost the very end of July. And by the time this comes out, it'll be like September. So, you know, that's, I don't know when we're going to get the Switch 2. Right now, it's basically we're waiting on, it's kind of we're waiting on a financial thing to happen. I'm not going to say what. It's not YouTube related. We're waiting on something. And, when it happens, we're going to buy the Switch 2, like as a celebration in a certain way. And like we're excited about it, but we're also going. We don't have a ton of time for I've only played video games right now in our life for YouTube. Like I'm not playing games on the side right now. Like I'm either doing research for this or playing this, what you're seeing as I talk. But like I don't I haven't played a game just for fun goofing around in 2 years, just about. Lily is almost 2. And so like we're excited to get the Switch 2. I really want to play the new Mario Kart. And when Legends ZA comes out, we're going to get it for the Switch 2. We're not going to bother with the Switch. I really want to play Scarlet Violet on the Switch 2. Everyone says it's amazing. And like I've seen some of the footage. It looks amazing. Like I was never disappointed with the... I'm not a frame rate person. I care about the fun. I don't care about the performance or anything like that. But like, I never cared, but then I noticed the difference. Now I'm like, whoa! So, that's just where it is. But... Oh my gosh, we're in, hold on, we're in Area 7. I got distracted. I have a note for Area 7. Areas 7 through 9, and 7 through 10 of Mount Battle's secret power is causing confusion. That's it, that's the note. And I remembered, I'm there. And so... there it is, immediate confusion. Good job, Shade. And so, like, we're gonna get the Switch 2, but we don't know when. It's it's just something financial that has to happen first, and we don't know when that'll happen. It will. It's just a matter of when. And so we're like looking forward to it, but there's a chance it'll be Christmas. There's a chance it'll be sooner. There's a chance it'll be later. But, like, I just think it would be so funny if, after all these years, like, the first console we get when Lily is alive is on Christmas. But, like, that was a Christmas present. Cause... well, maybe. Who knows? But it's... I just think that would be funny. So, yeah, that's my console story of my life. Stories. It's all one. I don't know. 4 battles left. We're about 23 minutes in. So yeah, glad I didn't do this with the shadows because would have gotten wrecked. But yeah, the goal was to get the team close to 50. So we're working on that. And yeah, Tess actually said you could stay out a little bit longer so I could just finish up this recording session. Because if you couldn't tell, with a 48-minute long and a 45-minute long video, this took a while. So, been recording for almost 3 hours. And that is much longer than I anticipated for you. So, fun. Alright, Giant has Hidden Power Fire. I can just take out this Sneasel next turn. I'm paying more attention that it's my actual team, so, yeah. Secret Power, do the damage that I need. Alright, cool. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, so now that topic's done. Don't know what to talk about anymore. Of course. It's just what's happening. yeah, I'll do it again because we're deep into this video. Tell your console story. It doesn't have to be as long and rambling as mine. Your choice. You know, say a comment. Leave your favorite story of how you got a video game console, or how you didn't, or something like that. Like, just, I think that'd be fun because I think everybody has a story. You know, everybody has, like, just in general. I mean, everybody has stories for everything. You know, that's life. You know, we all have stories. And sharing stories is great. It's one of the great things in life for me, honestly. You know, when people ask, like, what's the biggest thing you are? I'm like, I like stories, you know? It's big for me. I write books and do Let's Plays and all this stuff. They're all stories, you know? I don't think I've ever said that I've written books before. Nothing published. I have one that's, like, ready to be published. I just have to get it to publishers. It's a young adult series. I've had ready for, like, years at this point. I don't send it out that often because rejection is hard. But, like, yeah, I have a fully fledged young adult novel, like, ready to, like, it's done, it's edited, like, and I also have oh, this guy's got a hammer up Sharpedo, kind of a cool combo there. Of course the earthquake, the quick claw kicked in wouldn't be helpful, but got the crit on the Sharpedo, I'll take that. Got the one hitter there. Double knockout. All right, I withdraw my objection. Good job, Blue. That's what I want to see. All right. And but yeah, I also have another. The other book can't be published for copyright reasons and other reasons, and it's not really something I want to talk about in a series. It's... Wait a second. Chimecho levitates. I shouldn't have earthquaked there. It's something that I was a gigantic fan. And then, let's just say a book came out to close out a series that I was as big a fan of as I was Pokemon. And the book was so wrong in my view, and you know, you see what I do lore-wise on stuff. It was so contradictory to the first certain number of books in the series that it made me really, really mad. And so I decided to rewrite it and write a different version. And I did. It took me 10 years because I had to get better as a writer, honestly. And so I did. I like, not intent. Like, I majored in journalism actually in college, and like that wasn't the reason why. I just had a passion for journalism, telling stories and stuff, and not a journalist now because life's hard. But like, I really improved as a writer. That was something I was also doing, and it, like, just happened to be that I also really loved writing and wanted to be that. And so I did. And so I wrote it. And, like, I had been storyboarding it for a long, long time and making improvements and everything and making sure that I got it right. I have nothing against fan fiction. I like fan fiction. This is technically under the umbrella of fanfic. However, it is only fanfic in that it is not written by the original author and is written by a person who was a fan of the series. I included nothing that I wanted to see because that was not the point. That I tried a version when it like first happened. When the book came out, I tried to make a version, and I was like, you know what? This is my wish list, and that's not my goal here. So like ship pairings that I wanted, I did not make happen. I went, no. What would be the logical conclusion? What would be the conclusion based on these characters? Actions that I wanted, people who I wanted to either die or not die or come back to life. I cut that out because no, that's me. That's not what the story is telling. That's not where the characters would go. And so, Mantine v Mantine. All right. And so that was like, why do you have a sandstorm up when 3 out of your 4 Pokemon are not resistant to sandstorm? What are you doing here, guy? Just slowing me down. But, yeah, the reason I'm not saying is because I don't want it to be searchable. Because I use my real name on it. Yeah, so it's like, it is fan fiction. Because it was written by a fan and not the original author. But it is more like a research paper. Done meticulously well, that's almost 600 pages long. And it is a replacement for the final book of a well-known series that was coming out in the late 90s to mid-2000s that I was as big a fan of as I was of Pokemon. Until the final book came out. And then I was not. And now I'm super not of the other original. I already didn't like because of what the book that came out. And I went, oh man, I see some things now. And there's a lot there. I could do a whole, like, hour-long rant about this. Several hours rant about this. I wrote a 600-page book, 577. It's 577 pages. I wrote it, I know. I wrote a 577-page book about this. I could talk about it for a while. I'm not going to, because, you know, we don't use our real names in our YouTube channel. And you can find it. I'm sure, given the context clues, that you already know what series to which I am referring. And if you've heard other things that we've said, you may also have picked up on other things. But, you know, yeah. Like, trying to be cryptic, but like, whatever. I don't know why I kept Blue for so long. Just like, I'll just Earthquake this Celio. It'll be fine. It was, but like, Oh, don't, okay. Poor Bay. Just like, yeah, I'm on the battlefield. Why am I confused? How do you confuse a Pokemon who spins constantly? I guess unspin them? Like, look at... Oh, Blue's trying to learn Rain Dance. I do not need double Rain Dance. Blue's moveset is perfect. But look at Bay. Just like... him on top is, I think, the Pokemon that you could not make dizzy in any circumstance. I don't think I'm crazy for saying that. Because, you know, look at that. That's the norm. You know, that's every day in the life of a Hitmontop. Upside down, spinning around. You know, you can't make that dizzy. Later generation sprites, Hitmontop is like standing. I'm like, that is so wrong. Hitmontop is a top. Like, this is the animation that's correct. No others. Just this. Like, that's it. It's a long video. Even with the team. Mount Battle is just long. I'm actually thinking about splitting up the last couple areas of Mount Battle into more than one video, just for recording's sake. This was a long one. We'll put my pearls up front too. And I can't do sessions this long. Okay, Afi, the leader of Area 7, and the final battle of this episode in this recording session for me. Leader Afi has no theme to his team. Right now, the closest thing Mawile and Machoke have in common is the letter M starts their name. You'd think maybe attack power, but nope. No types in common. Like, you'll see with the rest of the team, because right now it's like, well, they both start with M. And Machoke attack, I think Mawile's defense is either higher than or the same as special defense, or as attack. But like, you'll see with the rest of the team, it's not attack-based. Quagsire is not an attack-based Pokemon. Like, ow? What just happened? Low kick? Come on! I'm trying to get Faye's friendship up. Why? With the constant... Okay, hold on. We're just gonna... A single low kick took out Faye from full health? I know it was a crit. And then know that crit therefore ignored the Intimidate. But how heavy is a Hitmontop? Come on! Ay. Anywho, Dusclops, defensive Pokemon. Nothing to do with the rest. They have no types in common. They don't have moves in common. I looked up the moveset when I was like, what is this? I forgot who was out. Nothing. There's nothing. This team has no theme. I don't understand why not, because the other 9 area leaders do. It is just Area 7's leader, Athi, who does not have a unified team theme. And I do not know why. And it bothers me. If you can figure it out, link in the description down below. I don't think I said that in the last 2 videos, but whatever. If you can figure it out, please tell me. Because I don't know. I couldn't figure one out. I looked at everything I could. I was just like, there's nothing. If you can figure out the theme, maybe there's like... My only thought is maybe there's something in like the Japanese names that I just can't... I don't speak or read Japanese. I can't tell. That's my only thing. Maybe there's some kind of pun that I'm not aware of. It's not like they're, like aces of anybody. Like, Quagsire doesn't fit that. Mawile doesn't fit that. Machoke, kind of. Machoke would be Bruno. Altaria would be, Winona. Dusclops is Phoebe, kind of. It's just weird. It's just hard to... I can't find a theme. So if you can, tell me. You know what, my pearls? We're going to use up a revive and bring back Bay. Because use an item, boost friendship just a little bit. And yeah. They're not all set up, like, I don't know. I didn't see anything. I can't see a theme. I can't tell. But Area 7's leader has fallen. Our whole team is 49, except for Bay, who's 48, who just... The one I want to faint least keeps being the most knocked out. Cool. Have you considered becoming a Mount Battle trainer? I've got the world to save, buddy. I don't have time. And you confuse me. So, you can go away. And we have now cleared Area 7 and get 900 Poke Coupons. We are stopping. That is going to do it for this part. Another 40-minute long video. But we have leveled up our team a bit. In between episodes, as you can see, we are now up to silver on Poke Coupon because we have earned enough total Poke Coupons, over 5,000. And we need 1,500 more in order to buy the Thunderbolt TM. We need 3,000 more in order to buy Thunderbolt and Double Team. I'm not sure I'll be getting Double Team. Definitely Thunderbolt. We're going to be going back in, getting these shadows, and getting them fully ready for purification in between episodes. That's kind of why I pushed through and did all of this in one, so I can have time in between recording sessions. So, that is what we'll be doing between episodes, and next time, we're making progress. We're actually making story progress. So thank you so much for watching, and join us next time when we head to Realgum Tower. See you guys then.